Thank you, Randy. And we'll go right back to our phone callers. Next up is Chris, Edmond, Oklahoma. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Hank. I was wondering your thoughts on cage fighting or ultimate fighting. I was just wondering your take for Christians to watch something where people can get knocked out pretty badly or submitted on the ground, and there's a lot of injuries that can happen. It's a little more gruesome than boxing or, say, wrestling, but you're basically in a cage and there's two guys that go in and fight. So it's pretty brutal, like I said, but I was just wondering, as far as watching or competing, if you're a Christian, what your thoughts would be on that.
Well, it sounds to me a lot like going back to the Colosseums in Rome, where there was bloodlust and people loved to see men fighting all out, and certainly in the Roman context to the point of death, or see men with animals so that you had to protect yourself and your life from a raging, agitated animal, and is either their life or your life. And again, the bloodletting was a sport that people loved, and I think that this is something that wouldn't be consistent with a Christian ethic. I mean, there's such a thing as entertainment, but this kind of thing, and I have to confess, I'm commenting on something I don't know a lot about, but just in terms of principle, it wouldn't harmonize very well with the Christian worldview.
Okay. Well, is it just the martial arts aspect? I mean, could it be something that you could maybe doctor up and make it a little bit safer, or is it just the fact that you're hitting someone, period, whether you have bigger gloves on or not?
Well, I mean, again, I think there is a case to be made that boxing can be harmonized within a Christian worldview, but overall, the idea of all-out fighting to the point of maiming or hurting another person seems to be inconsistent. But again, there are degrees and variations, and that's why I gave you the extreme example in the first century. But you mentioned the martial arts, and that's kind of an interesting question in and of itself, because there are a lot of people who ask questions about the martial arts, such that we actually did an article in the Christian Research Journal on things like Aikido, which is steeped in Eastern mysticism and cannot be divorced from its Eastern underpinning. On the other hand, there's judo and jiu-jitsu, which is very low in the spiritual emphasis and therefore can be divorced from its Eastern underpinnings. Taekwondo, for example, is compatible with Christianity, again, because it can be divorced from its Eastern underpinnings, but there are things like Tai Chi that can't be reconciled with Christianity. So we did an article on this subject with respect to the martial arts, but also in principle gets into the question that you asked about.